Welcome back, everyone. Today, I have a special story for you, one that reminds us that failure is not the end, but sometimes the beginning of something better. If you've ever felt lost, disappointed, or unsure about your future, this story is for you. Let's begin. Sophie had always believed she had her life planned perfectly. She lived in a small, quiet town in England and worked as a marketing manager. Every morning, she wore her smart suits, grabbed her coffee, and walked into the office with confidence. But one rainy Tuesday afternoon, everything changed. Sophie was called into her manager's office. She expected a normal meeting. Instead, she heard words she never imagined. "We're sorry, Sophie, but we have to let you go." Her heart sank. She nodded politely, trying to stay calm, but inside, she felt like her world was falling apart. After years of hard work and dedication, it all ended in just a few minutes. That evening, Sophie sat alone in her flat, staring out the window as the rain tapped softly against the glass. She felt completely lost. "What do I do now?" she whispered. For days, Sophie stayed at home. She ignored calls from friends and avoided checking her emails. Doubt filled her mind. Maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe I failed. But one morning, something inside her changed. She stood in front of the mirror and said quietly, "This can't be the end of my story." That simple moment made a difference. Sophie decided to go for a walk. As she walked slowly through the streets, she noticed something she had never really paid attention to before: a small bakery on the corner. The warm smell of fresh bread filled the air. Suddenly, a memory came back to her. When she was younger, Sophie loved baking. She spent hours in the kitchen with her grandmother, learning recipes and laughing together. For the first time in days, she smiled. "What if I try again?" she thought. That afternoon, Sophie went home and baked a simple cake. It wasn't perfect, but it made her feel happy. The next day, she baked another. And another. Soon, Sophie started sharing photos of her cakes online. At first, only a few people noticed. But slowly, more and more people began to follow her. Comments appeared: "These look amazing. Do you take orders?" Sophie felt nervous. What if I fail again, she wondered. But this time, she chose to be brave. "Yes," she replied. Her first order was small, a birthday cake for a local family. She worked carefully, giving her best effort. When the customer saw the cake, they smiled and said, "This is beautiful." That moment meant everything to Sophie. Weeks turned into months. Her small kitchen became her workspace. Her hobby became her passion. And her confidence began to grow again. Eventually, Sophie opened her own small bakery. It wasn't always easy. There were mistakes, long days, and challenges. But this time, she understood something important: failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the journey. One afternoon, as Sophie stood behind the counter of her bakery, watching customers enjoy her cakes, she realized something. Losing her job had felt like the worst moment of her life, but in truth, it had given her a fresh start. A chance to discover herself again. A chance to follow her passion. A chance to build a life she truly loved. She smiled softly and said, "Sometimes, failure is just life guiding us in a new direction. No matter how difficult things feel right now, a fresh start is always possible. Failure doesn't define you, what you do next does." Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more English stories to help you learn and grow. See you in the next video.